Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning, good evening to our lecturer Dr. Adilah binti Roslan and my fellow friends. So today we are going to, my friends and I are going to present to you about the sensing elements, and these are my group mates, Muhammad Hanif bin Muhammad Hanafi, Uwais bin Mazhar, myself, Fatin Shaqirah binti Affendi, Nur Syahirah binti Abdullah, and Siti Nurliana Hayani binti Mohamad Jaafar. So we are going to divide the presentation into 5 parts. The first one is the characteristics of the selected sensing element. The second one is principle of the selected sensing element. And the third one is the different types of the selected sensing element. Fourth is the operation of the selected sensing element. And the last one is the automotive application of sensing element. So I'm going to pass the presentation to the next presenter.
Hi, my name is Siti Nurliana Hayani binti Mohamed Jaafar and my metric number is 202481. Based on the activity 1, which is sensing element for automotive application, the first question is what is the characteristic of the sensing element that we choose? First of all, characteristic mean how to distinguish or identify. So our group focus on the electrochemical. So let's take a look at their features. Electrochemical sensing mostly focus on gas detection. First, we will start with gas permeable membrane. So, this is the mechanism on how the gas will reach to the surface electrodes. And generally in industry, polymer-based material is the primary choice for membrane is Teflon composite, which also used in exhaust system in car. However, it will be a problem if the temperature and pressure involve the system. Next is electrode. Electrode is made from metal, such as platinum and gold. Nowadays, it utilizes polymer-based and ceramic-based because they are considered life expectancy and durability. And lastly, electrolyte is ion transporting medium. The ion medium can detect oxygen in the car and very selective. Mostly use electrolyte other than liquid such as sulfuric acid or buffer solution.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Uwais bin Mazhar and my metric number is 200622. In this video, I am going to explain about the principle of sensing element, precisely the electrochemical sensing element principle and its types. So we start with the first principle of electrochemical sensing element is to measure the concentration of ion. The next principle is to determine the pH level. And lastly, the electrochemical sensing element principle is to detect the composition of gas. Move to the next presentation is I am going to explain about the types of electrochemical sensing element. So the first is chemically sensitive field effect transistor, or for short is the ChemFET. In ChemFET, the solution that have been analyzed will be introduced into space between the reference electrode and the gate area of the sensor. In a pH sensor, the gate is simply a silicon nitride layer which is both an electrical insulator and sensitive to hydrogen plus ion. By depositing an ion sensitive layer on top of the silicon nitride layer, sensors for a range of ions can be made. For example, a layer of sodium aluminosilicate glass will be sensitive to sodium plus ion concentration. The gate source voltage will be the sum of reference electrode bias potential and the equilibrium potential between the solution and the membrane. The next type is electrochemical gas sensor. Electrochemical gas sensor is a particular sensor consists of a small hollow cone of zirconia coated on both the inside and outside with a layer of porous platinum and held at a constant temperature of 640 degrees Celsius. A sample of the gas to be a sample of the gas to be analyzed is present on the inside of the cone, and a reference gas, which is often air, is present on the outside of the cone. So lastly, the last type of sensing element is the selective ion selective electrodes or ICES. Based on its principle, as I mentioned before, it is the sensor which directly measure the activity or concentration of ions in any solution. For example, ICES is used to measure the concentration of lead in the drinking water. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Uwais, for the great explanation of different type of sensing element. Next, before we go further about how does the sensing element works, let me introduce myself. My name is Nur Syahirah binti Abdullah and my matric number is 202923. For today, I'm going to explain to you about how does the sensing element works. So, the electrochemical sensor, or we know it as oxygen sensor, operated based on the diffusion of gas of interest into the sensor, resulting the production of an electrical signal that is proportional to the gas concentration. The gas that coming in contact with the sensor passes via a small capillary type opening and diffuse via a hydrophobic barrier to reach the electrode surface. The result is a sufficient amount of gas is allowed to react at the sensing electrode to produce a sufficient electrical signal. The diffused gas in turn get oxidized or reduced at the sensing electrode. With the help of resistor connected between the electrode, the current flow between the anode and cathode can be measured to determine the gas concentration. So this is how they assemble the electrochemical sensor. As you can see, there is two electrode. We call it as zirconia oxygen square. Between the electrode, we have platinum ring, and the circle that attached to the electrode, we call it as alumina disc. And this is how when we cross-section the electrochemical sensor, you can see we have zirconia oxygen square here. Then we have aluminium oxygen disc, or we call it as alumina disc. Then we have sensing chamber, and lastly we have the platinum ring. So this is how the electrochemical sensor look in real life. So we have porous stainless steel cap, sensing cell, heater coil, base plate, and the connector. Okay, that's all from me. We will move to the automotive application of sensing element that will present by Hanif.
Okay, so I will continue with automotive application of sensing element. Okay, so we will cover the sensing element in car. Activity 1, part 3. Question 1. An area that is the most suitable for selected sensing elements to be applied in a car. An area that is the most suitable for the electrochemical sensing element in the car is in the exhaust pipe. So we will cover what will we do with the sensing element do in the exhaust pipe in question 2. Question 2. The purpose of the sensing element in the selected area. The purpose of electrochemical sensing element in the exhaust pipe is to monitor the concentration of oxygen within the exhaust gases. So we want to know how much oxygen that we have in the exhaust pipe, so that we can tune up the engine so it will work normally. Next, we will go to question 3. How will the sensing element work in the selected area? So first, in the exhaust pipe, the electrochemical sensing element will monitor the oxygen level so that the fuel mixture can be measured. So we will use electrochemical sensing element. That's the first one. Next, the sensor will let the computer know if the fuel mix is burning rich, it indicates not enough oxygen, or lean, it indicates that it is too much oxygen. So when the fuel is burning, we want it to be on average rate. We don't want it to burn too rich or too lean. So we will use this sensor to detect how much oxygen is burning. Third, knowing the ratio of the fuel to the air allows the car's engine to make any necessary adjustment to ensure the car works like it should. So with the help of the sensor, the car engine can tune up according to the sensor judgment so that it can work normally. And the fourth question is another place to put the sensing elements, and does the sensing element work the same way as in the place before? In the manifold of the car, it functions the same as the one in the exhaust pipe. It monitors the oxygen, as the oxygen is the atmospheric gas that mix with the fuel to generate combustion. So the thing that we want to measure here is oxygen, and because it is one of the most important element in generating combustion. Okay.
So, moving on to the conclusion of this presentation. So, as we have chosen the electrochemical sensors, uh, we must know that the electrochemical sensors in the automotive are used to detect a wide range of toxic gases such as the hydrogen sulfide and also the carbon monoxide. So these electrochemical sensors are commonly used in the vehicle as it has low power in requirement, linear output, and also it has a good resolution. So lastly, the sensor will provide an accurate reading on a target gas that is repeatable. Repeatable. So with that, I end the presentation. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.